Welcome to Presently Engaged Through the Bible, the 5-day Bible reading podcast. I'm Mandy Pallock, and we're enjoying the Word together. Today we find joy in 1 Samuel 20, 1 Chronicles 4, Psalm 56, 57, and 142, and Acts 14. This is the Word of the Lord. 1 Samuel 20. Then David fled from Naioth in Ramah. He came to Jonathan and asked, "What have I done? What is my iniquity? How have I sinned against your father that he wants to take my life?" "Far from it," Jonathan replied. "You will not die. Indeed, my father does nothing, great or small, without telling me. So why would he hide this matter from me? This cannot be true." But David again vowed, "Your father knows very well that I have found favor in your eyes, and he has said, 'Jonathan must not know of this, or he will be grieved.' As surely as the Lord lives, and as you yourself live, there is but a step between me and death." Then Jonathan said to David, "Whatever you desire, I will do for you." So David told him, "Look, tomorrow is the new moon, and I am supposed to dine with the king. Instead, let me go and hide in the field until the third evening from now. If your father misses me at all, tell him, 'David urgently requested my permission to hurry to Bethlehem, his hometown, because there is an annual sacrifice for his whole clan.' If he says, 'Good,' then your servant is safe. But if he is enraged, you will know he has evil intentions. Therefore deal faithfully with your servant, for you have brought me into a covenant with you before the Lord. If there is iniquity in me, then kill me yourself. Why should you bring me to your father?" "Never," Jonathan replied. "If I ever found out that my father had evil intentions against you, would I not tell you?" Then David asked Jonathan, "Who will tell me if your father answers you harshly?" "Come," he replied, "let us go out to the field." So the two of them went out into the field, and Jonathan said, "By the Lord, the God of Israel, I will sound out my father by this time tomorrow or the next day. If he is favorable toward you, will I not send for you and tell you? But if my father intends to bring evil on you, then may the Lord punish me, and ever so severely, if I do not tell you and send you on your way in safety. May the Lord be with you, just as he has been with my father. And as long as I live, treat me with the Lord's loving devotion, that I may not die, and do not ever cut off your loving devotion from my household, not even when the Lord cuts off every one of David's enemies from the face of the earth." So Jonathan made a covenant with the house of David, saying, "May the Lord hold David's enemies accountable." And Jonathan had David reaffirm his vow out of love for him, for Jonathan loved David as he loved himself. Then Jonathan said to David, "Tomorrow is the new moon, and you will be missed if your seat is empty. When you have stayed 3 days, hurry down to the place you hid on the day this trouble began, and remain beside the stone Ezel. I will shoot 3 arrows to the side of it, as if I were aiming at a target. Then I will send a boy and say, 'Go, find the arrows.' Now, if I expressly say to him, 'Look, the arrows are on this side of you, bring them,' then come, because as surely as the Lord lives, it is safe for you, and there is no danger. But if I say to the young man, 'Look, the arrows are beyond you,' then you must go, for the Lord has sent you away. And as for the matter you and I have discussed, the Lord is a witness between you and me forever." So David hid in the field, and when the new moon had come, the king sat down to eat. He sat in his usual place by the wall, opposite Jonathan, and beside Abner, but David's place was empty. Saul said nothing that day because he thought, "Something has happened to David to make him ceremonially unclean. Surely he is unclean." But on the day after the new moon, the second day, David's place was still empty, and Saul asked his son Jonathan, "Why hasn't the son of Jesse come to the meal either yesterday or today?" Jonathan answered, "David urgently requested my permission to go to Bethlehem, saying, 'Please let me go, because our clan is holding a sacrifice in the city, and my brother has told me to be there. So now, if I have found favor in your eyes, please let me go and see my brothers.' That is why he did not come to the king's table." Then Saul's anger burned against Jonathan, and he said to him, "You son of a perverse and rebellious woman. Do I not know that you have chosen the son of Jesse to your own shame and to the disgrace of the mother who bore you? For as long as the son of Jesse lives on this earth, neither you nor your kingship shall be established. Now send for him and bring him to me, for he must surely die." "Why must he be put to death?" Jonathan replied. "What has he done?" Then Saul hurled his spear at Jonathan to kill him. So Jonathan knew that his father was determined to kill David. Jonathan got up from the table in fierce anger and did not eat any food that second day of the month, for he was grieved by his father's shameful treatment of David. In the morning, Jonathan went out to the field for the appointment with David, and a small boy was with him. He said to the boy, "Run and find the arrows I shoot." And as the boy ran, Jonathan shot an arrow beyond him. When the boy reached the place where Jonathan's arrow had fallen, Jonathan called to him, "Isn't the arrow beyond you?" Then Jonathan cried out, "Hurry, make haste, do not delay." So the boy picked up the arrow and returned to his master. But the boy did not know anything. Only Jonathan and David knew the arrangement. Then Jonathan gave his equipment to the boy and said, "Go, take it back to the city." When the young man had gone, David got up from the south side of the stone, fell face down, and bowed 3 times. Then he and Jonathan kissed each other and wept together, though David wept more. And Jonathan said to David, "Go in peace, for the 2 of us have sworn in the name of the Lord, saying, 'May the Lord be a witness between you and me, and between your descendants and mine forever.'" Then David got up and departed, and Jonathan went back into the city. 1 Chronicles 4. The descendants of Judah: Perez, Hezron, Carmi, Hur, and Shobal. Rhea, son of Shobal, was the father of Jahath, and Jahath was the father of Ahumai and Lahad. These were the clans of the Zorathites. These were the sons of Etam: Jezreel, Ishma, and Idbash. And their sister was named Hazelelponi. Penuel was the father of Gedor, and Ezer was the father of Husha. These were the descendants of Hur, the firstborn of Ephrathah and the father of Bethlehem. Asher, the father of Tekoa, had 2 wives, Helah and Naarah. Naarah bore to him Ahuzam, Hefer, Temeni, and Haahashterai. These were the descendants of Naarah. The sons of Helah were Zareth, Zohar, Ethnan, and Koz, who was the father of Anub and Zobeba, and of the clans of Aharhel, son of Harum. Now Jabez was more honorable than his brothers. His mother had named him Jabez, saying, "Because I bore him in pain." And Jabez called out to the God of Israel, "If only you would bless me and enlarge my territory. May your hand be with me and keep me from harm, so that I will be free from pain." And God granted the request of Jabez. Chalub, the brother of Shuha, was the father of Mahir, who was the father of Eshton. Eshton was the father of Bethrapha, of Paseah, and of Tahina, the father of Ir-Nahash. These were the men of Rekah. The sons of Kenaz: Othniel and Sariah. The sons of Othniel: Hathath and Meonothai. Meonothai was the father of Ophrah, and Sariah was the father of Joab, the father of those living in Geharashim, which was given this name because its people were craftsmen. The sons of Caleb, son of Jephunneh: Iru, Elah, and Nahum. The son of Elah: Kenaz. The sons of Jehalelel: Ziph, Ziphah, Teriah, and Asarel. The sons of Ezra: Jether, Mered, Epher, and Jalon. And Mered's wife Bithia gave birth to Miriam, Shimei, and Ishba, the father of Eshtemoa. These were the children of Pharaoh's daughter Bithia. Mered also took a Judean wife, who gave birth to Jared, the father of Gedor, Heber, the father of Succo, and Jekuthiel, the father of Zenoah. The sons of Hadoah's wife, the sister of Naham, were the fathers of Keilah, the Garmite, and Eshtemoa, the Maacathite. The sons of Shimon: Amnon, Rinah, Ben-Hanan, and Tilon. The descendants of Ishi, Zoheth and Ben-Zoheth. The sons of Shelah, son of Judah, the father of Leka, Laada, the father of Marishah, and the clans of the linen workers at Beth-Ashbea, Jocham, the men of Kozabah, and Joash and Saraph, who ruled in Moab, and Jeshubi-Lehem. These names are from ancient records. These were the potters who lived in Netaim and Gederah. They lived there in service of the king. The descendants of Simeon, Nemuel, Jamin, Jerib, Zerah, and Shaul. The sons of Shaul, Shalom, Mibsam, and Mishma. The sons of Mishma, Hamuel, Zakur, and Shimei. Shimei had 16 sons and 6 daughters, but his brothers did not have many children, so their whole clan did not become as numerous as the sons of Judah. They lived in Beersheba, Moladah, Hazar-Shual, Bilhah, Ezem, Toled, Bethuel, Hormah, Ziklag, Beth-Markaboth, Hazar-Susam, Beth-Beeri, and Shearaim. These were their cities until the reign of David. And their villages were Etam, Ain, Rimmon, Token, and Ashan, 5 towns, and all their surrounding villages as far as Baal. These were their settlements, and they kept a genealogical record. Meshobab, Jamlech, Josha, son of Amaziah, Joel, Jehu, son of Joshabiah, son of Sariah, son of Asiel, Elionai, Jacobah, Jeshahiah, Asaiah, Adiel, Jesamiel, Benaiah, and Ziza, son of Siphi, son of Alon, son of Jediah, son of Shimri, son of Shemaiah. These men listed by name were the leaders of their clans. Their families increased greatly, and they journeyed to the entrance of Gedor, to the east side of the valley, in search of pasture for their flocks. There they found rich, good pasture, and the land was spacious, peaceful, and quiet, for some Hamites had lived there formerly. These who were noted by name came in the days of Hezekiah, king of Judah. They attacked the Hamites and Munites there in their dwellings, devoting them to destruction even to this day. Then they settled in their place because there was pasture for their flocks. And 500 of these Simeonites, led by Pelatiah, Neriah, Rephaiah, and Uziel, the sons of Ishi, went to Mount Seir and struck down the remnant of the Amalekites who had escaped, and they have lived there to this day. Psalm 56. For the choirmaster, to the tune of a dove on distant oaks, a miktam of David, when the Philistines seized him in Gath. Be merciful to me, O God, for men are hounding me. All day they press their attack. My enemies pursue me all day long, for many proudly assail me. When I am afraid, I put my trust in you. In God, whose word I praise, in God I trust. I will not be afraid. What can man do to me? All day long they twist my words. All their thoughts are on my demise. They conspire, they lurk, they watch my steps while they wait to take my life. In spite of such sin, will they escape? In your anger, O God, cast down the nations. You have taken account of my wanderings. Put my tears in your bottle. Are they not in your book? Then my enemies will retreat on the day I cry for help. By this I will know that God is on my side. In God, whose word I praise, in the Lord, whose word I praise, in God I trust. I will not be afraid. What can man do to me? Your vows are upon me, O God. I will render thank offerings to you. For you have delivered my soul from death and my feet from stumbling, that I may walk before God in the light of life. Psalm 57. For the choirmaster, to the tune of Do Not Destroy, a miktam of David, when he fled from Saul into the cave. Have mercy on me, O God, have mercy, for in you my soul takes refuge. In the shadow of your wings I will take shelter until the danger has passed. I cry out to God Most High, to God who fulfills his purpose for me. He reaches down from heaven and saves me. He rebukes those who trample me. Selah. God sends forth his loving devotion and his truth. My soul is among the lions. I lie down with ravenous beasts, with men whose teeth are spears and arrows, whose tongues are sharp swords. Be exalted, O God, above the heavens. May your glory cover all the earth. They spread a net for my feet. My soul was despondent. They dug a pit before me, but they themselves have fallen into it. My heart is steadfast, O God. My heart is steadfast. I will sing and make music. Awake, my glory. Awake, O harp and lyre. I will awaken the dawn. I will praise you, O Lord, among the nations. I will sing your praises among the peoples. For your loving devotion reaches to the heavens, and your faithfulness to the clouds. Be exalted, O God, above the heavens. May your glory cover all the earth. Psalm 142, a maskil of David when he was in the cave, a prayer. I cry aloud to the Lord. I lift my voice to the Lord for mercy. I pour out my complaint before him. I reveal my trouble to him. Although my spirit grows faint within me, you know my way. Along the path I travel, they have hidden a snare for me. Look to my right and see, no one attends to me. There is no refuge for me. No one cares for my soul. I cry to you, O Lord. You are my refuge, my portion in the land of the living. Listen to my cry, for I am brought quite low. Rescue me from my pursuers, for they are too strong for me. Free my soul from prison, that I may praise your name. The righteous will gather around me because of your goodness to me. Acts 14. At Iconium, Paul and Barnabas went as usual into the Jewish synagogue, where they spoke so well that a great number of Jews and Greeks believed. But the unbelieving Jews stirred up the Gentiles and poisoned their minds against the brothers. So Paul and Barnabas spent considerable time there, speaking boldly for the Lord, who affirmed the message of his grace by enabling them to perform signs and wonders. The people of the city were divided. Some sided with the Jews and others with the apostles. But when the Gentiles and Jews, together with their rulers, set out to mistreat and stone them, they found out about it and fled to the Lycaonian cities of Lystra and Derbe and to the surrounding region, where they continued to preach the gospel. In Lystra, there sat a man crippled in his feet, who was lame from birth and had never walked. This man was listening to the words of Paul, who looked intently at him and saw that he had faith to be healed. In a loud voice, Paul called out, "Stand up on your feet." And the man jumped up and began to walk. When the crowd saw what Paul had done, they lifted up their voices in the Lycaonian language, "The gods have come down to us in human form." Barnabas they called Zeus, and Paul they called Hermes, because he was the chief speaker. The priest of Zeus, whose temple was just outside the city, brought bulls and wreaths to the city gates, hoping to offer a sacrifice along with the crowds. But when the apostles Barnabas and Paul found out about this, they tore their clothes and rushed into the crowd, shouting, "Men, why are you doing this? We too are only men, human like you. We are bringing you good news, that you should turn from these worthless things to the living God, who made heaven and earth and sea and everything in them. In past generations, he let all nations go their own way. Yet he has not left himself without testimony to his goodness. He gives you rain from heaven and fruitful seasons, filling your hearts with food and gladness." Even with these words, Paul and Barnabas could hardly stop the crowds from sacrificing to them. Then some Jews arrived from Antioch and Iconium and won over the crowds. They stoned Paul and dragged him outside the city, presuming he was dead. But after the disciples had gathered around him, he got up and went back into the city. And the next day, he left with Barnabas for Derbe. They preached the gospel to that city and made many disciples. Then they returned to Lystra, Iconium, and Antioch, strengthening the souls of the disciples and encouraging them to continue in the faith. "We must endure many hardships to enter the kingdom of God," they said. Paul and Barnabas appointed elders for them in each church, praying and fasting as they entrusted them to the Lord in whom they had believed. After passing through Pisidia, they came to Pamphylia, and when they had spoken the word in Perga, they went down to Attalia. From Attalia, they sailed to Antioch, where they had been commended to the grace of God for the work they had just completed. When they arrived, they gathered the church together and reported all that God had done through them and how he had opened the door of faith to the Gentiles, and they spent a long time there with the disciples. And now, you who are made in God's image, may the grace of the Lord Jesus Christ and the love of God and the fellowship of the Holy Spirit be with all of you.